to undo the damage of what they had done to save their face. Previously, the previous year, the budget of the Office of the Deputy President was 4 billion shillings. They went ahead and cut 1.5 billion shillings. That is what they were trying to reinstate. And the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, had nothing to do with it. That is their work. So when the Standard newspaper was trying to assist the attorney to divert attention from the real issues, the real issue was that in the dying hours of the Uhuru administration, President Uhuru Kenyatta pushed the controller of budget through Yatani, and it's documented through WhatsApp messages, to pay 15 billion shillings in 26 minutes. Money that we shall give you details of how it was stolen. And the Standard newspaper was trying to divert attention by letting the people digress from the theft of 15 billion shillings in 26 minutes in the dying hours of the Uhuru administration by trying to say that the Deputy President had requested 1.5 billion shillings. Even if he had requested, he had not stolen the money. A request is just a request. But in this matter, no request was made from my office. It is the Controller of State House who made a request, and they were trying to undo the damage they had done to President William Ruto to save their face. So I would like to say, when such issues happen, we shall call you out, because we expect the media also to be responsible. And we expect the media to know the elections are over. Azimio lost. We know you went to bed with them. Can you stop living in denial and get back to work and work professionally and objectively and report to the people of Kenya the happenings as they unfold?
Your Excellency, Section 27 of the Media Council Act, I want to go back there. Section 27 of the Media Council Act establishes a Media Complaints Commission. One of the main mandates of that commission is to handle complaints from the public. You've clearly stated that you are not going to seek redress through, such mechanisms. Does that mean that now we have two sets of rules, one for the common Mwananchi and then others for the Deputy President?
Absolutely no. You have a choice whether to complain or not. Even in normal times, there is somebody who can abuse you, and you decide to live with it. You don't have to report because there is a law against abuses. It's your choice. In our cases, we are leaders. Once we have let the people of Kenya know that the Standard is biased, we leave it there. It is the people to judge. And the fact that you guys now are feeling it is very good for us. It's very good for our democracy, because we are having this discussion. You expect to be biased, to be subjective, but you don't want to be questioned by anybody. Yet, every day you hold us to account. You hold everybody to account. You don't have that preserve. That is only you who can hold others to account. The media too must be held to account. And we'll call you out when you become biased, when you are not objective. We have a right as leaders, as a country, as a people, equally to call you out.
Excellency, before we move to the next itemized agenda, which is on governance, one final question on this. We are a democracy, and you have stated that. You have the right to be offended and the right not to be offended in democracy, because we are a secular society. And the media professionals have largely adhered to the code of principle and ethics, which is objectivity and the right to fair coverage for all the parties. You have talked about crushing in terms of political. You have said you will not complain as per the laid out procedure, and that you will complain to the people. The people voted for the Constitution, which provides for that avenue. We're still hanging, there's something loose about it. Are you assuring the Kenyan people that the freedom of media in Kenya is here to stay for this administration?
The freedom of media is here to stay, but you are saying that you have done objective and fair coverage. That is a lie. During the last election, in Citizen News, they would give Raila Odinga 20 minutes and give President William Ruto 3 minutes. We complained, we stopped complaining because nothing was being done about it. Raila Odinga was being given free live coverage. 5 days before the election, on Saturday, I think the 6th, I approached Inoro Station. I said I want to buy live coverage. They charged me 4.6 million. I said I'll pay. On the last day, they said, no, we can't give you live coverage, keep your money.
Thank you.
And I was paying for the space because Uhuru Kenyatta knew that if I had 2 hours on Inoro TV, 5 days before the election, I would talk to the Kikuyu nation.
Thank you.
The media has not been fair. It has not been balanced. Probably now that we are having this conversation,
All right.
it is about time that the media consider that these airwaves that you enjoy belong to the public.
Thank you.
You have a responsibility to provide fair and objective coverage to all political players within the Kenyan political space.
Thank you, Excellency. We now move to the next item, which is on governance and institutions underneath the Constitution, and Jesse Rogers will be taking us through that.
Okay, Your Excellency, perhaps just to begin on matters governance, I'd like to touch on your declaration that government appointments are sort of a preserve of those who voted in favor of the Kenya Kwanza government. Just perhaps to put the words into context, quote unquote, this is what you mentioned: the government is a company that has shares, there are owners who have majority shares and those with just a few, while others do not have any. You invested in this government, you must reap. That's what you're quoted as saying. And as a matter of fact, we believe today you agitated for the same message at Tharaka Nithi County while you were with the president. And that begs the question, this is a symbol of national unity, the presidency. And in fact, is it your sincere thought that this is how governments should work?
Thank you very much for asking that question. It's a very pertinent question. What I said in Kericho, and I believe in it, is that a government is like a company. I didn't say a government is a company. I said it's like a company. In every company, there are shares. Preferential shares, ordinary shares. When there is an AGM, non-shareholders do not attend the AGM. When there are dividends to be divided, they are divided according to the number of shares. That is the truth. What I said is that as a government, in terms of development, in terms of public resources, all Kenyans must be treated equally. And the president does not dish out development. Appropriation of funds for development is done by the National Assembly, and all parties are represented through the budget cycle. And therefore, the issue of discrimination, in far as resources are concerned, is non-existent. All Kenyans are taxpayers, and the government of President William Ruto and I will serve all Kenyans equally in matters development. In fact, last month, the president and I, an entire government, were in Luo Nyanza, where we were not voted in what I would call an acceptable manner. We got very few votes, and we are thankful for those few votes. We were in Siaya, unveiling development projects. We were in Homa Bay. We were doing 2,000 affordable housing. We were doing a PIA at Homa Bay. We were in Kisumu. Because even if those people did not vote for us, they are Kenyans and they pay taxes. But when it comes to forming government, no president anywhere in the world would invite people to his government who do not believe in him, who do not believe in his agenda, who cannot support him because they don't understand his agenda. And that is where the issue of shares came. That it is by the number of shares that you have in that administration that demonstrates your commensurate commitment to the success of that government. And I gave an example. I said if you are a farmer and you are planting, you plant, you wind, you apply fertilizer, you irrigate. When the time comes to harvest, you go to the shamba and harvest. But a fellow who was standing by the fence, shouting at you and saying, you farmer, you are foolish. That maize you are planting will get nowhere. That seed is rotten. This farming cannot succeed in this area. Farming is not a good thing as we are livestock herders. How then can you invite that person to come and assist you to harvest? He doesn't believe in you. What I said in parables, and I like using figurative language because I'm a student of literature, and it's one of the most effective ways of communicating to the people, especially the people down there at the bottom of the pyramid. And that's my gift. I talk to the people directly. What I was saying, the people who are opposed to President William Ruto, saying that he is a thief, he is incapable of running this country. He has no agenda. The bottom-up economic transformative agenda is useless. There is no way we can allow him to invite those people to his cabinet, to be his principal secretaries, to be ambassadors. They do not believe in him. They do not believe in his agenda. How then can they come and demand to be included in that government? That's what I was saying.
Okay.
When I go to State House, and I said, I fight them there.
Yeah.
Every day. That's what I said. I fight them there. People who are shouting at President William Ruto, saying he is useless, he is a thief, he will ruin this country. And they are there lining up that they want to be given positions. I say, no, let us first give positions to those who believe in President William Ruto,
okay,
to those who believe in the bottom-up economic transformative agenda. Those are the people who will help him. And let me tell you, before you tell me, that is a mistake President Uhuru Kenyatta made. He went and brought people through the handshake who did not believe in the Big Four agenda, who did not believe in the Jubilee agenda, people who had been opposed to his leadership, people who had been opposed to his economic programs. He brought them into his government. What happened? Everything came to a standstill. The economy got destroyed. By the time he left, the country was finished. We cannot make that mistake. And that is what I meant. But in matters development, in matters public resources, every Kenyan will benefit from this government.
Your Excellency, with all due respect, Article 38 of the Constitution talks about political rights in the sense that every citizen is free to make political choices. That is a fundamental right and freedom.
Absolutely.
So what are you saying by saying the former president made a mistake to bring other people who never supported him into government? And what are you saying? Because if it's a right for every Kenyan to make a choice,
it's a right,
and then tied to Article 131 as the presidency, the symbol of unity.
That is true.
So in essence,
that is true, but choices have consequences. That is true. It's a political right to choose whoever you want, but choices have consequences.
Okay.
There is no way you can say you don't believe in William Ruto. You don't believe in his programs. You don't believe in his what he stands for, and then you want to be a member of his cabinet. How can you help him to transform the country? How can you help him govern? What I'm saying is, even in those areas where we are not voted for, we have people in the cabinet who believe in us. It does not mean because that area did not vote for us, everybody in that area does not believe in us. Eliud Awalo from Siaya believed in William Ruto and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And that is why today he is cabinet secretary for ICT. Raymond Omolo, he believed in Dr. William Ruto and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. That is today why he is a PS for Interior. Mr. Kobundo is a CS for Trade. We are saying in every part of the country, there are those who believed in President William Ruto and his programs. So what we are telling Azimio people, when you make a bed, you must lie on it.
Okay.
Don't force us but to take people who don't believe in us. Among your support base, we have people who believe in us. Those are the ones we shall choose, and those are the ones who will join our government. And in every part of this country, every community is represented. The issue we have with Azimio, they want us to bring us Azimio people in our government.
But Deputy President,
because they sabotage our government, the way they sabotage the Uhuru Kenyatta, we cannot agree.
Deputy President, in all fairness, you know, you can say whatever you've said, but the Azimio people are not here to say they're not lining at State House for government.
You will call them to ask them.
But in all fairness, I'm saying, can you maybe say a few names, one or two? Who are these people?
I don't have to say, because let me tell you, these people, one, they say they don't recognize President William Ruto and they don't recognize his government. Then the following day they are saying this government is discriminating against us. How? If you don't believe in the president, if you don't believe in his government, how then do you expect to be included in his government, and you have said yourself publicly in broad daylight that you don't recognize him, that he is not in office legally, yet you are claiming you want your supporters who are clapping when you are saying you don't recognize William Ruto to be in your government. On a further note, when we try to reach out to everybody for national cohesion, for national unity, We hosted members of parliament from ODM, from Luo Nyanza. What happens? They were de-whipped. They were threatened. They were thrown out of meetings. So these people, they are speaking from both sides of the mouth. They are saying on one hand, we want to be included in the government of President William Ruto. On another hand, they are saying we don't recognize President William Ruto. When a few leaders decide that it makes sense to engage the president, to discuss development with him, because the elections are over, they go and have a meeting with the president. The MP for Langata Jalango was thrown out of the meeting. The other 9 MPs are under siege. The party leader of ODM is fighting them in every meeting for going to engage with the president. What do these people from Azimio want from us? One, they say they don't recognize us. On the other hand, they want to be part of government. When we say, okay, come, we talk, they discipline the people who have come to speak to us. What are we supposed to do?
Okay, Excellency, and just as we wrap up on this, there are two contrasting issues here. You have talked about the masses and the people who you said are lining up at State House looking for opportunities in government. I mean, the Constitution only recognizes Kenyans as one. There are no primary or secondary Kenyans. Two, during your oath of office on the 13th of September, you said that you will administer this country as the deputy president,
yes,
without fear,
yes,
favor,
yes,
or ill will.
Yes.
There is the aspect of qualification,
yes,
competence,
yes,
hard work,
yes,
and meritocracy.
Yes.
I mean, when you describe the country as a shareholding company, figuratively you said,
yes,
this is so inferior to the position of the Constitution that establishes this country as a constitutional democracy. This coming from the deputy president, isn't it appalling that you said the Kenya is more or less a shareholding company?
There's nothing appalling. It depends on the way you look at it. The people I was speaking to are more than happy. I spoke today in Tharaka. It was thunderous reception. They associate with those comments. That is the political reality of this country. Move away from theory. Governments all over the world come with their own people when they form government. And they don't go to look outside there. They look from among people they know. People who believe in what they stand for. As deputy president, I took an oath of office to serve the whole country. That is why I spent 3 days in Luo Nyanza. I was in Siaya, I was in Homa Bay, I was in Kisumu. But that does not mean for me to look national. I get somebody who was abusing President William Ruto, saying that he is not capable, that he has no idea how to run the country, and bring him into his government so that he comes and sabotage the government from within. I am saying, once beaten, twice shy. President Uhuru Kenyatta made that mistake. Okay. He brought characters into his government who did not believe in him, who did not believe in his agenda, and in the process, they messed the whole 4 big agenda. They messed the whole Jubilee transformative agenda because they did not believe in it. William Ruto will not make that mistake. He'll embrace all Kenyans from all communities, but the people to help him manage the affairs of this country are those who believe in him, are those who believe in the bottom-up economic transformative agenda, and those who believe in his leadership. Those are the men and women from across Kenya, from all communities, that he'll assemble to help him to govern this country.
Your Excellency, just a quick one. Your Excellency, to some they say you appear to be always in a combative mode. Some say at any opportunity with the mic you lecture Kenyans. Is the truthful man a bitter man?
Kenyans, just like I said, have a right to say what they want. This is democracy. Kenyans have every right to describe character. I am a person, and you should have known me by now. I speak from my heart. I say what is in my heart. I'm a truthful man. I'm an honest man. Kenyans are not used to honesty. And many people have a problem with that. And I want to tell you, let me tell you, my brother, you people of the media, you know, demeaned me. You called me names. You drew caricatures against me. You said I'm uncatchered, I'm uncouth, I am a villager, I am all that. But on the 9th of August, the people of Kenya, 7.2 million Kenyans disagreed with you and said this man called Rigathi Gachagua, we like his style of leadership, he's a truthful, he's an honest man, we can entrust him with leadership. I accept and welcome criticism from the media, from the social media, from everybody. But let me tell you, nobody will ever change me.
Okay.
I am natural. I will never change my language. I will never change my character. I will never change the way I speak. I will always speak from my heart. Unless the people of Kenya tell me to stop. And as I go around the country, because I do, I'm everywhere. Kenyans urge me on. Yeah, they urge me on. So, but I welcome criticism from the media, social media, from columnists. They are all welcome to criticize me. And myself, I know who are my employers. I know who matters in the whole of this equation. I know my preferences.
Okay.
I know who matters.
Okay.
That person who matters to me and my leadership is the one I normally talk to.
Okay.
Not the media. You only quote me, by the way. I normally don't address you. I address the people. Okay. I talk to Kenyans, and I have a chemistry with the Kenyan people. And I'm persuaded I'm on the right track, and I'm not going to change. I will remain a natural person.
Your Excellency, you've talked about cohesion and reaching out to members, or rather leaders from the opposition side. You've said that you invited some ODM MPs in Parliament, and later on they were de-whipped. What criteria did you use? Did you just cherry pick, or you issued the invites to everyone, including the party leader, ODM leader Raila Odinga?
We talk to those who want to talk to us. People reach out. We have talked to Jubilee. They reached us out. We said welcome. Those LDA members of Parliament reached out to us. We said welcome. We are willing to engage with anybody who has an idea on how we can improve our economy, on how we can make this country better, on how we can improve the living standards of our people. The doors of President William Ruto are open. My doors are open. You have seen, I embrace leaders like Honorable Kanini Kega, who used to abuse me and say that I should go to prison in Nyeri so that the locals can be bringing me uji. But I embraced him because he reached out. We are not bitter with anybody. What people mistake with bitterness is the truth. You know, many people do not want to hear the truth. When I said in Kasarani that we inherited a dilapidated economy, people thought that I'm bitter with President Uhuru Kenyatta. I was just simply being honest. When I said we got empty coffers, I was simply being honest. People mistake honesty with bitterness. Okay. We harbor no bitterness. We have come in, Jubilee people are with us, ODM people are with us. We have taken action against nobody. We have not used the criminal justice system to hunt anybody. We are open. We are saying, come, we talk, we work together, we are willing, we have no problem with anybody.
Na matamshi yako kuhusiana na kukaribisha viongozi wote na ya kwamba kama serikali ya Kenya Kwanza mko tayari kuzungumza na kiongozi kutoka upande wote, na tumeshuhudia wengi wakija pale State House ambapo wamezungumza na rais. Je, ni dalili ya handshake? Na vile vile kama Kenya Kwanza unaweza ukasema sasa hivi ya kwamba hauna machungu na wale viongozi ambao wakati wa kampeni walikuwa hawaungi mkono upande wa Kenya Kwanza?
I have no bitterness with anybody. Honorable Kanini Kega used all sorts of insults against me. He was instrumental in my problems. He's the one who was working with Uhuru Kenyatta to persecute me. But when he reached me out, I'm a leader, and the elections are over. I told Kanini Kega, come, we work together. I am willing to talk to anybody who wants to talk to us. And we are talking to many people. Some come during the day, others come at night, depending on how they look at things. I'll continue to talk to leaders at night. We'll continue to talk to leaders during the day. And those who are willing to talk to us, we are ready. President William Ruto and I are Christians. We are not faithful. We have no bitterness against anybody. All we are saying is that we must be truthful. If that truth cuts somebody, so be it. There's nothing we can do about it. You know, sometimes when we speak the truth, you think we are against so-and-so or we are bitter. We have no bitterness with anybody. We are good people. We've got a big heart. We want to embrace everybody. Let us come and build this country together.
On that bit, Mr. Deputy President, someone would argue that you people, even after you were sworn in, you said you want a strong opposition. But here today, your party, UDA, is looking for, to court MPs from ODM and Azimio and other parties, including Jubilee Party. Are you not weakening the same opposition? You said you want a strong opposition.
We are not quoting anybody, they are quoting us. What do you want us to do when they come to us? When Jubilee MPs want to see the president, he is the president of Kenya. including those Jubilee characters, he is their president. He is the father figure of this country. When they come knocking, our doors are open. We will not lock anybody out. In fact, we believe in very strong opposition. In fact, the problems of this country began with a handshake when we killed the opposition and got involved in a mongrel of our government. You don't know who is opposition and who is government. And there was no check and balance. And theft and plunder of resources started from that day. The president has recommended to the National Assembly various amendments to the Constitution to create the office of the leader of official opposition, so that whoever is there has a platform, a legal platform, to go to the National Assembly, funded by the state, with vehicles, with support staff, with research staffers, to provide effective oversight on government. We have no intention whatsoever to muscle the opposition. We actually want to strengthen the opposition. And that's why we are saying we have no need for handshake. And by the way, there will be no handshake with anybody. If those people want to talk to us on matters development, we are ready. But them coming to join government, no. We want the opposition to remain strong. We want them to agree with our people in the National Assembly. They agree and amend the Constitution, create the office of the leader of official opposition by law, so that he gets resources, so that he gets support to provide oversight of a government. A strong opposition is a good thing for any country, and we want a strong opposition.
On that bit, your new SecGen of UDA, Cleophas Malala, is on record saying that you as a party, UDA, you want other parties, affiliate parties in Kenya Kwanza to fold. Do you still hold that thought, that even ANC, the other parties, including PA, including Ford Kenya, do you still want them to fold?
That is Malala's idea of making UDA as a strong party. Cleo Malala is a very energetic young leader, and I really have a lot of time for him. When President William Ruto and I and our National Executive Council decided to pick him to be the Secretary General of UDA, is because we really appreciated his qualities, his energy, his passion and vigor. And that is what we need for a party. Probably his style is a little bit different. I have discussed with him. We don't want to coerce anybody to fold up. That is not necessary. He can make an invitation for people to fold up and join UDA. They don't have to. And we are happy the way we are in Kenya Kwanza. We are happy with the existing framework. But if along the way, the constituent parties consider it desirable to fold up and join UDA, so be it. If they want to remain independent within the Kenya Kwanza framework, so be it. Okay. So it was just Malala's way of bringing energy into the party. And the president and I have told him to proceed, to market the party, to make it very vigorous, to make it very, very active. But we don't want to coerce anybody. Anybody, if ANC wants to come and fold up, fair enough. If they don't want, fair enough. We just proceed.
Okay, Excellency. Before we proceed to the next topic, which is of concern to the Kenyan people, the cost of living and the economy, which Eric will be starting us off, one final question on governance. And one of the premise upon which your government was formed, and you told the Kenyan people this is a listening government, is the aspect of the rule of law and constitutionalism. You were recently in Nakuru County in defiance of a court order. Why?
I was not in defiance of any court order because none had been served on me.
Okay, let me just cut you. This was in relation to the recalling of Peter Mwanzo, the former Nakuru County commander, who was in Nakuru County to Vigilance House. And you said you went there knowingly that these people are not going anywhere. That's what you said. I quote you verbatim. I've come here with iron sheets, food, and 10,000 for each of the family evicted. The county commander has been removed. Two quick questions there. Why did you defy a court order? And was the former county commander recalled to Vigilance House by that directive that you made in Nakuru County?
I did not defy any court order because none was served on me. You defy a court order if it has been served on you. Let me say the following. We are a country of the rule of law. We are a country that obeys court orders. There was no court order as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, were you issued with your court order?
No, I have not been issued.
You are not party though. So there were two parties in court.
Yeah, listen, let me finish.
Allow me to get the...
I know what you are saying.
Okay.
I'm explaining.
Okay, but you are not part...
That court order did not direct the police commander to oversee the destruction of property. That court order did not direct the police commander to oversee brutal eviction of children and women. That court order called for eviction. It did not call for brutal eviction of children and women. It did not call for destruction of property. What we have told police, and I want to repeat here for the record, if there is a court order asking police to provide security for eviction, that order should be obeyed. But there is a way to obey it.
Which is the way?
I am explaining.
Okay.
You table that order before the county security intelligence team to discuss the manner of eviction. One, to ensure there is no eviction done at night. There will be no night eviction in this country as long as William Ruto is president. Why do you want to evict people at night? So that you steal their property, so that there is no accountability, you rape women, you rape children. There is nobody in this country, as long as William Ruto is president, no police officer anywhere in this country will oversee an eviction at night. That is one. That eviction was done at night. As a signal had been issued when President William Ruto came to office by the Inspector General of Police, directing all police commanders in Kenya that there shall never be a night eviction. That is why we removed him. During the night, property belonging to those poor men was stolen. Women were raped. Property was destroyed. I am Deputy President of William Ruto. I cannot sit in Nairobi when an overzealous police officer, using police officers paid by the public, using guns owned by the people by the taxpayers, using ammunition, go and oversee a brutal eviction in the middle of the night against helpless women and children. That will not happen. Number two, the police in that county committee on security and intelligence, a discussion will be arrived at on how to evict people in an orderly manner so that people are not brutalized. We have come from a government, the government that was there, the Uhuru administration, that was heartless, that brutalized its own citizens under the supervision of police. So I am saying we'll obey every court order, but within the realms of the law.
Okay.
There is no order from any court saying that the eviction should be done at night. All things that are done at night are not good things. Why can't they do it during the day when everybody can see? That is why the police commander was removed, because there was a signal, clear. And I asked the IG for that signal and he said it to me, very clear. There is no eviction at night. Because why do you want to do it at night? What has happened in this country? In the last administration by Uhuru Kenyatta, the policemen went rogue and they brutalized the people of Kenya. You remember what happened in Kariobangi, what happened in Ruai. Kenyans were brutalized during COVID, when there are floods, when it's raining, under the watch of policemen. I am saying that will not happen, and that is why I went to Subukia to apologize to those people that our own government, a government they elected to office on the platform of not allowing brutal evictions, had actually supervised brutal eviction against the people of Kenya.
Just on yes or no is aspect, because still to quote you verbatim, you said any police commander should notify the County Security Committee and Intelligence before executing any orders for eviction. If evictions have to be done for whatever reason, even with court order, it has to be discussed by the County Security Committee. We have instructed the Attorney General to review the case. If that court order then, and the evictions as per the order happen during the day, will you defy the court order?
Nobody, the court order will be obeyed, but its implementation will be done according to our rules.
Thank you. Sorry.
Just on that, and very briefly, before we move on to the next topic of discussion, when the Kenya Kwanza administration took over, you said that you're handing the National Police Service its own budget to make it independent. Are you confirming now that the executive still has a hand in how the National Police Service operates?
The police service, the National Police Service is independent. We have given the Inspector General financial autonomy. He is now the accounting officer.
Okay.
He needs no direction from anybody on how to work. But the government also has policies. And the Inspector General of Police has been hired by President William Ruto. President William Ruto has a manifesto. He has a covenant with the people of Kenya. One of the things that we agreed with the people of Kenya is that there will be no brutal evictions at night. When President William Ruto hired Japheth Koome as IG, he made it very clear to him on what had been agreed on with the people of Kenya. And before he took the job, he agreed that the policies that had been agreed on in matters policing will be observed.
Okay.
And let me tell you, we have a very, very professional Inspector General of Police, Japheth Koome. We have a very professional CS for Interior, Professor Kindiki. Other than that one isolated incident, we have not had any other. And that is very good.
Okay.
You know, since we came in, today is 6 months, since we were sworn in.
7 months.
On the 13th. I think it's 6. We were sworn in on 13th of September.
13th September.
So I think it's 6 months today. We have not had any violation of what we agreed with the Inspector General of Police. And I'm very happy myself. Even when I discussed with the IG on that issue, he dealt with it very fast. And action was taken and things have been normalized.
Thank you.
We do not interfere with the way police carry out their operations, but there are certain policies that were a covenant between the people of Kenya and President William Ruto. And all those who have given jobs must adhere to those policies.
Fair enough, sir. Let's talk about the cost of living. And one of the things that we have to talk about is the cost of power. And I want to quote the chair of the Presidential Council of Economic Advisors, that is David D. I believe that his position is the official government of Kenya position. Using his verified Twitter handle, he said on power bills, we have two choices: costly power available 24/7 or cheap power available a few hours a day like South Africa. And he went ahead to say, if you care to peruse our manifesto, you would have noted that cheap power does not feature in our pledges on electricity. But your manifesto actually had promised to lower the cost of electricity in a 3-point plan. Referencing that tweet by David D, I have two questions. When should Kenyans expect the cost of electricity to be lowered? And two, is the government planning to introduce power rationing?
First and foremost, David D is an advisor to the president. He does not pronounce policy. Public policy is pronounced by the president, the deputy president, and the respective cabinet secretary. So I would not want to go into that as far as I'm concerned. If that pronouncement came from the CS Davis Churchill, I'll be able to talk on it. I want to say that the government is concerned about the cost of power. And a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. We are having a problem because of the prolonging drought and the effects of climate change and 5 failed consecutive seasons. All electricity generated through hydro, there's a problem. And in another 2-3 weeks, we'll have a very serious shortage. So the idea has been to expand to geothermal, solar energy, and wind energy, progressively in terms of long-term solutions. Because like the independent power producers are very expensive because they use diesel, and diesel is very, even in your own home, you have a standby generator, you know how expensive it is. So the government is well sized that the issue of cost of power is affecting the economy badly because it brings up the cost of manufacturing, and that cost of manufacturing due to cost of power is passed to the consumer. So along the way, there are many things going on which I don't want to delve in at this stage because they are still at the policy level. They are still at a discussion in cabinet. I don't want to diverge what is going on in cabinet, but I want to assure the people of Kenya that there is a big team of men and women, experts on power, who are burning the midnight oil to come up with sources of alternative energy with a view of bringing the cost of power down to boost manufacturing and production. Because as long as the cost of power is up, we will not be able to bring down the cost of living. So it is something that there is a team of men and women who are working day and night, and in the next several weeks, there will be a policy pronouncement on that aspect of what the government intends to do to bring down the cost of power.
Is rationing an option on the table?
I can't say at this stage. I am hoping we'll not get a South African state where we have to ration.
Okay.
I hope we'll not be able to get there. I was in South Africa in December, and it's not a very decent way of life. But I am saying that discussion is going on. We need to appraise the situation. What are the water levels? What is the amount of power we can get from the hydro dams? What is it that we can get from geothermal? What is it we can get from solar? What is it we can get from wind? What is it that we can get from across the country, against our overall requirement? And then decisions will be made depending on the deficit.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Deputy President, looking at the cost of basic commodities such as unga and such commodities, would you say that in the 6 months that you have been in power, you've done enough, the most that you could have done as a government?
I think we have done extremely well. When we came in, the cost of unga was between 230 to 250. And at that time, there was a subsidy. Despite the subsidy, which was, which cost the government 8 billion, and which of course was stolen, the unga was 250, between 230 to 250. We have worked very hard. And now unga, depending on where you are buying, is between 170 to 191. As of this afternoon, at Naivas supermarket, it was 178 per 2 kg. And I think coming down to 50 shillings, 45 shillings, without patting ourselves on the back, I think we have done extremely well. And that has been short term. The long term, we decided as a government, and under the wise leadership of President William Ruto, on advice of serious economists, that subsidizing consumption is foolish because it's not sustainable. You cannot subsidize consumption. And the president was well advised, and after analyzing all the advice from all sorts of experts and economists and putting his own thinking into it, decided that the way to go is to subsidize production. And that is why immediately after coming into office, we set money aside to subsidize the cost of fertilizer. Fertilizer that was going a 50 kg bag at 7,000 is now 3,500. The net effect of that is that the farmers will get a better yield at a lower cost of production. And that benefit will be passed to the consumer. So looking at the way things are going, all factors being constant, God being merciful and giving us good rain, we have prepared the farmers well. In the bread basket, 16 counties, our bread basket, we have sufficient fertilizer. I went to Mombasa personally to oversee the distribution of that fertilizer. I was in Kericho to ensure that it has reached. I saw with my own 2 eyes. All farmers have fertilizer and are ready for the long-range planting. All factors being constant, with God's mercy, we are going to have a bumper harvest with high yield and at a lower cost of production. That should be able to set the cost of unga down 150, 140, all the way to 120. And we believe that if eventually we can stabilize the cost of unga at 120, 110, 115, we think that is fairly comfortable for the people of Kenya. So I think we have done well. So when I see these maandamano characters making noise at us, the question I'm asking is one. They are telling us that they are going for maandamano for us to bring down the cost of unga. When unga was at 230, they never called for maandamano. They were right inside the government. But President Uhuru Kenyatta said his advisor is Raila Odinga. He's on record. Raila Odinga never called maandamano when unga was at 230. Why is he calling for maandamano when unga is at 178? It's double speak. Number two, he had an opportunity then as the advisor of President Uhuru Kenyatta without having to go to maandamano. He was part of government. He would have advised his handshake brother on how to bring the cost of unga down. Just how foolish do these people think Kenyans are? These are the same Kenyans who are buying unga between 230 and 250 during the reign of the handshake brothers. There is a new government that has brought unga down by 50 shillings, 45, all the way up to 178, 175. I think without blowing our own trumpet, I think we are not doing very badly. We are not doing as much as we would have wanted. But telling us to subsidize unga, we are not going to do that because it's not sustainable. It is foolish. In any case, there is no mechanism that is proven to subsidize unga. We have sat down with millers, and I said I will speak. 4 billion shillings were released from the National Treasury to subsidize unga. We went throughout this country, and I want to challenge the people of Kenya. No Kenyan anywhere saw a packet of unga at 100 shillings. Those millers are demanding money from us. They only received 1.7 billion, 2.3 billion shillings was stolen. They are saying they did not receive the money, and the money left the National Treasury. We are saying why these people are calling for maandamano to return the unga subsidy is because the network of stealing that money for unga subsidy belongs to them. So they want us to release another 2 billion, which the National Assembly has refused.
Deputy President, you had a strategy to reduce the cost of specifically maize.
Yes.
In January, President William Ruto is on record in Eldoret saying your government has a strategy to import cheap maize, free duty maize, by end of February. And even the CS for Agriculture, Medical and Turi, including Moses Kuria of Trade, they're on record saying it. But now, after the end of, we are now in March, there's no importation of cheap maize. Kenyans are waiting for this.
Yes.
Where is the maize?
It's good you have asked that question. The maize is not available anywhere in the world. The CS for Agriculture and the PS, the Honorable Mithika Linturi, were in Zambia, which produces maize, and there is no maize available. The only maize that is available in South Africa, and we are in competition with Angola and Rwanda for the same maize. The maize in Brazil, bringing it here because of the distance, the cost is too high. We decided as a government that the government is not going to import any maize directly because we don't want corruption. And the government doesn't want to get involved in importation directly because we don't want scandals. We don't want people in government to get into business. We advertise for millers and other people to apply to be given permit to import duty-free maize so that we can bring down the cost of maize flour. Unfortunately, and I'm sorry to tell the people of Kenya, there's no maize almost everywhere in the world.
Are you now saying that Kenyans should wait?
Listen, I'm just saying it is a difficult situation. It is 2 months ago, almost 3, when we gave people to import maize. And most of those people we gave maize, they are telling us wherever they have gone, they are